I moved to Beijing probably about a year and a half ago, closing in on 2 years now. And I moved there, and I mean, I kind of have, a little bit of experience with Mandarin, but not really. I moved there on my own. We had the Olympics just happening in Vancouver, and so I just kind of went there during the downtime, learned Mandarin. And within 2 months, I ended up working on my first Chinese film with Andy Lau and Gong Li. At the time, I was learning, but it wasn't, where it wasn't fluent, for sure. But, I worked on it a lot every day, and I think they ended up dubbing me regardless.
Are you serious?
But Russell was in it, too.
Yeah, Russell was in it.
Yeah, there's a few foreigners in there, so the director didn't really want too many weird accents in there, so he asked me if, they could dub me. I'm like, oh, sure, when I first met Andy, we had this great conversation, and then I realized it was his stunt double. They look so similar.
Really?
It creeped me out. And then I looked over. I'm like, oh wait, but that's Andy. And I never told him that. It was slightly embarrassing, but no, he was like genuinely nice guy. He was great to hang out with. He was really good for all his fans. There was always a few people hanging around his trailer. If they all knew that he was there, there'd be a crowd of people, and he'd always make time for them. Wave, sign autographs, take pictures. He's very gracious, really kind to everyone. Right from the get-go, the beginning, the script, just seeing the cast, being on set, just seeing all the shooting days. There's so much chemistry with everyone, and it's such a great group of people. It's a Halloween movie. It's about a girl. She loses her younger brother on Halloween, and she wants to go to this party, but at the same time she has to find her brother now before her mom finds out. So her best friend's with her, and of course, they run into these guys, and they're just trying to find her. It definitely opened a lot of doors for me. It was my first encounter with Tibetan as well. But it was a lot of fun, learning Tibetan. Well, those lines that I knew anyways, and getting into the costume every day. It was it was an adventure every single day. The film was great. The people that I worked with was amazing. Roland Emmerich, the director, he's the sweetest guy. I still see him every time I'm in LA. So he's been great. And at the time, I didn't know how big of a movie it was going to be. I'm like, wow, they got a lot of money, but very green, this was like my first big project in Vancouver. So, I couldn't appreciate it, and it was very strange. It still felt like a vacation from regular life. That's what it felt like. None of that really registered of what it was going to be, and, I'm so thankful because it opened so many doors for me. There's a lot of fighters on, there's Kung Lee Batista, and Batista's trainer, Maurice, who were like, super martial artists. And what I took away from that experience was training with them. Honestly, we spent like 3 months in Shanghai, and, every chance I got, I trained with these guys. And that was like the best thing in the world for me. It was just, I don't know, it was very nostalgic for me. Like, I used to train martial arts every single day, all day, right? And, as I slowly got into acting, that kind of drifted away, as I started focusing more on, the art of acting, not so much the action. And this was it was a chance for me to get back into it, and just, being in that environment where it's, no pain, no gain kind of thing. It was just so refreshing for me. And just, Corey Yuna, our the action director, just the stuff he was putting together, it was just crazy. Quentin Tarantino was on set. RZA was just the coolest guy, and I know, just watching the stuff they put together, it's just like, this is the kind of movie that I would watch, even if I'm not in, I'd go to the theater to watch this movie.